All right, well, obviously after last week, it was great to come out and have a whole team effort. I thought it was just what the doctor ordered. We needed that one. I thought the guys did a great adjustment this week. They really hurt us. They were all ears. And I think all the coaches did a great job preparing them for what they were going to see today. And then, the game starts with a face-off, and I thought Jacob Falk did an outstanding job on the face-offs today. And then Virginia went with a little bit of a run there in the second half, and I thought, especially in the third quarter, Drake Porter, they had some opportunities, and he made some great saves, which was huge for our defense. And so good team effort, both offensively, defensively, and it was great to play as well as we did.
Thanks, Coach. We'll take questions. First, we'll go to Kate, and then we'll go to Andrew after that.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. When you look at this team and just how these games have been battles between you and Virginia, when you look at the scoreboard and you see 20-10 as your final win, how many of these games have come down to the wire? What goes through your mind?
Just a team effort, really. Last week, the score 18-11. Was kind of wondering, we haven't had a lot of practice time compared to some of the teams that we're playing against. We didn't have any scrimmages before our first game, and I wasn't sure how we were going to play today. We missed some ground balls, had some turnovers we didn't want to see, but all in all, it was a great team effort, and I think it's just going to help with our confidence going forward.
Andrew?
Hey, John. Just wanted to ask about Mitch and the game you saw out of him tonight. I know you switched at one point Brett up to LSM and put Mitch kind of shadowing Matt Moore. I guess what went into that decision, and what were your thoughts on the results that stemmed from that?
Well, Mitch would have played more last week, but he was injured, so we thought we'd better give him a little rest. Troy Girls, our trainer's done a nice job with him, and he's had he's practiced well with us. And it's great to have that kind of depth. And, Brett Kennedy is probably, you'd like him at pole, obviously, because he's an offensive threat and very aggressive up top. But we've had to play him where we needed him most. So to get him to come in and play so we could move Brett around was big for us. I thought he did a really good job on him.
Thank you. Next, we go to Cameron.
Coach, first, congrats on the win. Second, 9 different guys scored in this game for you guys. What does that overarchingly say about this team and the culture and identity that you guys are going to start to build on offense?
Yeah, well, we've always been a team that likes to share the ball. So it's nice when, we can attack with different players and many can produce. It certainly makes it more difficult for the other team to match up with players. I think that, even like us trying to match up with Virginia today, I think we did a good job with our team defense, but they're another team. They put 6 guys out there, and it's kind of pick your poison. So it was good that they produced, and I think it'll just make us more dangerous going forward.
Roshan?
Hi, Coach. So obviously you guys were strong on the counterattack tonight, taking advantage of transition. Was that the game plan going in, or did that just sort of materialize?
Well, a little of both. We all, Syracuse lacrosse is kind of transition's a trademark of Syracuse lacrosse. So we, we're going to take it when we have it, and then we want to recognize when we don't have it, so we can get the ball to our offense and make good decisions and play a little bit more patiently there. But yeah, we had some interesting opportunities. Off the face-off also. I know Virginia got 1 or 2 off the face-off, but had some nice plays. And in clearing situation, we were able to push the ball up the field right away while they were substituting and to get some numbers going on the other side, which is exactly what happened to us last week. So it was good to get those.
Thank you. Next, we go to John Eads.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. We saw a lot more of the middies going to X today, inverting and dodging. Is that something that was specifically part of the game plan? Because we didn't see it much against Army.
Yeah, no, we'd seen something actually in their Loyola game, and we wanted to experiment with that. Pat March had the guy set up, and we actually adjusted as the game went on, positioning where some of our players went. So I think it was a good adjustment on our part, and it worked. And when you do that, a lot of your shots are very high percentage shots because you're in so much closer to the goal. So, it worked well for us today.
Thank you. Next we'll go to Patrick Gunn and then Allie Kaler after that.
Hey, Coach. Congrats on the win. When did the decision to start Owen, and what do you see from him today?
I talked with Coach March, and I think some of the, Owen's a very good finisher, and we just felt, especially with our midfield play, that our attack would have some opportunities there. And I think, Owen did a good job. He's going to be a very good player for us. And Griffin, you're going to see Griffin out there more. Griffin's done a nice job. He hasn't done anything wrong. We just, like I said, I think Owen really finishes the ball well.
Allie?
Yeah, so you kind of answered part of the question I was about to ask, but will you be keeping Hiltz at attack in the future? Are you going to keep trading between him and Cook?
That's a good question. I'll talk with with Coach March about that. Griffin's he's a good player for us, so he's going to get on the field. It's just a matter of where. Last week we brought Owen in a little bit more through the midfield. This week on attack, and we could do a similar thing with Griffin, and he gives us the ability to invert. I think Owen Seabold was doing such a nice job today with the invert that we decided to go a little bit more with him.
Yeah, and what do you think Hiltz brings to the attack that Cook doesn't?
I think it's more finishing the ball, and we, he's on the left side of the field for us. So Owen's a lefty, and Griffin's, both hands, a little bit more variety, and we're kind of short in that hand on the field. So with Rafus and he working that side gives us another look.
Nate?
I don't know how many more words you can say about Owen, but I'll try to push you a little bit here. You mentioned earlier you were hoping to just bring him along slowly as the season progressed. He certainly looked the part out there and looked like he belonged out there. Would you have asked for anything more out of him tonight?
Is there a question in there somewhere?
Well, I'm wondering, like, do you think he belongs? I mean, do you how would you assess how he played out there? And again, given all the options you have offensively, the fact that you can seemingly add another lethal option out there has to make you feel pretty good, right?
It does, and like I mentioned, he's another lefty for us, and I think the reason he got out there more today was we needed people to finish the ball. And he's one of our best. That's the reason he's on man up. He gives us another shooter on the left side. Traditionally Canadian players play a lot of box lacrosse. They're used to shooting in tight corners on smaller goals than in field lacrosse, and they've always been known for shooting the ball at a higher percentage.
Thank you. We got time for two more. We'll go back to Patrick and then Andrew to finish us off.
Coach, going back to the defense, Murphy and DiPietro also had a really great rebound game in last week's performance. What was the game plan this time, especially going against a really good attack?
Yeah, I mean they, at times they have 5 attackmen on the field, so it's they're a really difficult team to match up with. But I thought that Coach Rogers did a nice job of getting the right people on the right people, and we were kind of able to match their strengths at times. And then you mentioned earlier with Wyckoff coming in and playing more. So it was it worked for us today. And I think that with when they did have some opportunities, I thought Drake Porter made some outstanding saves, and that can be frustrating for an offense when they've finally gotten through a good team defense and they go to finish a shot and a high percentage shot, and then the goalie makes some big saves. That can be frustrating.
Last question back to Andrew.
John, just face-off question real quick. I know you kind of alternated between Clary and Kennedy, on the face-offs coming in. Is that something you want to continue to do going forward, kind of alternating between the two of them? I guess what stands out about Landon, face-off wise, that you want to get him in, for on that?
He's he's pretty fearless. I didn't really care who's around. Some guys will look twice to see if they're going to get checked when they pick the ball up in a ground ball situation. He just drives through it, and very athletic. He's got a good nose for the ball, and he's a good ground ball person. And he also, if the other team comes up the ball, he's good at making a check to put the ball back down on the ground. So he's done, and obviously, Kennedy's Kennedy. He's got to be one of the best in the country at doing that, and hasn't had as many opportunities because we had to use him on close defense. So now that some of the other guys are stepping up, we'll be able to, use him where we need him the most.
Thank you.